Imagine this. You're out enjoying your day, maybe browse at your favorite boutique, or simply strolling through a beautiful park, soaking in the sunshine. And then, without warning, that feeling hits. That unwelcome, embarrassing, deeply frustrating sensation. You try to play it cool. You shift, you cross your legs, maybe force a laugh with a friend. But inside, your mind races. Why me? Is this just my new normal? Will I ever feel confident again? If you've ever experienced that little oops, or the desperate dash to the bathroom that didn't quite make it in time, hear this loud and clear. You are absolutely not alone. And no, this is not an inevitable part of getting older that you just have to endure. For far too long, countless senior women, maybe even you, have been silently battling bladder leaks. Living with the quiet shame, feeling your independence slowly slip away. Always worried. What if someone notices? Can I really go out tonight? Will I make it through that long drive or church service without an accident? But here's the empowering truth that many are afraid to say out loud. This isn't just about avoiding a wet spot. This is about reclaiming your dignity, your confidence, and your freedom from fear. So let's pull back the curtain and talk about this openly, honestly, and with compassion. Because guess what? Medical experts have pinpointed 8 common, everyday habits that could be silently fueling those frustrating leaks. And for so many women, simply tweaking just 1 or 2 of these habits can unlock incredible relief. In this video, I'm going to personally guide you through each of these often overlooked habits. We'll uncover what you might be doing right now, completely unaware of its impact on your bladder. And more importantly, I'll empower you with practical steps to start taking back control right here, right now. Because this journey isn't just about preventing accidents. It's about getting your life back. It's about rediscovering your freedom, your peace of mind, and the joy of spontaneous living. So if you're feeling frustrated, embarrassed, or just utterly tired of bladder leaks dictating your life, then I urge you to stay with me for the next few minutes. You deserve answers. You deserve genuine relief. And you are precisely where you need to be. Go ahead and type, "I'm here," in the comments if any of this resonates with you. Let's create a space where we all feel supported and understood. And while you're there, make sure to subscribe to Elderly Counsel, your trusted guide for real conversations about health, happiness, and thriving in this beautiful stage of life, always with honesty, compassion, and absolutely no judgment. Alright, let's dive into the 8 habits doctors say must be avoided if you want to stop wetting your pants for good. Habit number 1, the dehydration deception, drinking less water to avoid leaks. Let's kick things off with a habit that seems logical but is actually a hidden trap, cutting back on water to prevent leaks. It sounds smart, right? Less liquid in, less liquid to leak out. Well, let me explain why this common assumption couldn't be more wrong. Meet Sophia, a lively 72-year-old who cherishes her daily walks and morning coffee with neighbors. When those inconvenient leaks started, her first thought was, "Aha! I'll just drink less water." So, after 5 p.m., her water bottle was off limits. At first, she felt a glimmer of hope. But quickly, a cascade of other issues emerged: dizziness, stubborn constipation, constant dry mouth, and a pervasive fatigue. And the leaks? They didn't disappear. In fact, they seemed to get worse. Here's the critical connection. When you deprive your body of adequate hydration, your urine becomes highly concentrated, more acidic, more irritating. This turns your bladder lining into a sensitive, inflamed mess, prone to sudden, uncontrolled spasms. And those spasms? They're the very culprit behind that desperate, "gotta go now" feeling. So, while it seems counterintuitive, restricting water actually stresses your bladder into misbehaving. Dehydration is a quiet epidemic among older adults, particularly women. And an underhydrated bladder isn't a calmer bladder, it's an irritated, overactive one that simply won't cooperate. The empowered approach? Embrace consistent, gentle hydration. Sip water throughout the day. Keep a glass or bottle within easy reach. Yes, it's wise to taper off fluids 1 to 2 hours before bed to minimize nighttime trips. But please, don't leave your body parched. A calm, well-hydrated bladder is a cooperative bladder. You deserve to feel comfortable without living in perpetual thirst. Now, water's one thing, but let's talk about what else you might be sipping that's actually adding fuel to your bladder fire. Habit number 2, the caffeine conundrum, relying too much on stimulants. Next up is a daily ritual for millions, overdoing caffeine. Let me introduce you to Alara, 68, who loves her tranquil mornings on the porch, always with a steaming mug in hand. A second mug followed breakfast, and often a third by mid-morning. By noon, she'd had 3 cups. And every day, like clockwork, her afternoons were a frantic series of bathroom dashes, sometimes a victory, sometimes not. It's just coffee, she'd shrug. But here's the silent sabotage happening inside. Caffeine, whether from coffee, black tea, energy drinks, or even some chocolates, is a double whammy. First, it's a diuretic, pushing your kidneys to produce urine faster. Second, it's a direct bladder stimulant. It revs up your bladder muscles, making them twitchy, jumpy, and far more likely to squeeze without warning. Essentially, every extra sip of caffeine is like sending your bladder a text message. Get ready for a sprint! There's a common myth that only alcohol causes urgency. But caffeine is often the stealthier, more pervasive culprit, precisely because it's a daily, unquestioned habit. You don't need to banish your beloved morning ritual entirely. But consider an experiment. Try switching to decaf or explore naturally calming herbal teas like peppermint or rooibos. And if you truly crave that morning jolt, limit yourself to just 1 cup before noon. Imagine a bladder that isn't constantly being poked and prodded all day by stimulants. It simply relaxes, and so do you. Speaking of sneaky habits, the next one doesn't come in a cup or bottle. It's something you likely do every single day, completely unaware of its impact on your bladder. Habit number 3, the slouching secret, poor posture while sitting. Let's shine a light on Martha. She's 75, often found in her favorite recliner, enjoying her shows, knitting, or simply resting. At first, this cozy habit seemed harmless. But then came the nagging backache, the persistent hip pain, and a growing, uncomfortable bladder pressure. Soon, she found herself struggling to hold her urine, even when she hadn't consumed much liquid. What's going on? She wondered. I haven't changed anything except how much I'm sitting. Here's the critical insight many miss. When you slouch or slump, especially for extended periods, you're literally compressing your bladder without realizing it. Your pelvic organs, including your bladder, uterus, and bowels, rely on a strong network of muscles and ligaments for support. But when you hunch over or sink deep into a soft chair without proper back support, all that internal pressure shifts forward and downward. Over time, this constant strain weakens your pelvic floor, the crucial muscle group responsible for holding everything in place and controlling your bladder. Yet, posture is almost never linked to bladder health. The simple yet powerful fix: when you sit, especially for long stretches, ensure your feet are flat on the ground, your back is well supported, and your spine is gently upright, not stiff, just aligned. A small lumbar cushion behind your lower back can work wonders. And commit to standing up for a quick stretch or a short walk every 30 to 45 minutes. Your posture isn't just about your back. It's about safeguarding the entire foundational system that keeps your bladder happy and healthy. But even perfect posture isn't enough if those critical support muscles are already weakened, which leads us to habit number 4. Habit number 4, the neglected core, ignoring pelvic floor exercises. This next habit strikes a deep chord with so many women, especially those who've experienced childbirth, menopause, or simply the natural progression of aging. Meet Patricia, 70, a loving mother of 4 who spent decades on her feet. For years, she simply accepted occasional leaks as just what happens after a certain age. She assumed it was normal. But nobody ever taught her about Kegels. Understand this: your pelvic floor muscles are like a supportive hammock, cradling your bladder, uterus, and bowels. But just like any other muscle, if they're not used, they weaken over time. And the weaker these crucial muscles become, the less control you have over your bladder. There's a widespread myth that pelvic floor exercises are only for younger women or new mothers. But let me tell you, the women who stand to gain the most are those who have lived full, beautiful lives, women exactly like you. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership. Just a few dedicated minutes each day, easily integrated into your routine, while brushing your teeth, watching TV, or lying in bed. The exercise is simple. Gently tighten those muscles as if you're trying to stop the flow of urine. Hold for a few seconds, then fully release. Start with 5 repetitions and gradually increase. It might feel odd initially, but consistency is key. These small, deliberate movements actively rebuild strength, improve control, and powerfully remind your body that you are still in charge. And while we're on the subject of muscle strength, there's another surprisingly common habit that's likely affecting your bladder every single night. Habit number 5, the stillness trap, avoiding physical activity. Let's consider Dorothy, 80, who moved in with her son after a minor fall last winter. The incident understandably shook her confidence. Since then, she's spent most of her days in bed or on the couch, believing that resting more would help her heal and maintain control. But something unexpected happened. Her bladder issues worsened. More urgency, more leaks, less warning. She was baffled. She wasn't moving, wasn't drinking much, wasn't doing anything to trigger it. Here's the hidden truth. When your body becomes inactive, especially your core and pelvic muscles, they rapidly lose strength. And these are the very muscles that provide vital support for your bladder, helping it stay firmly in place. Think of it like the foundation of a house. When it becomes soft or unstable, everything built upon it starts to shift and sag. Many seniors, especially women, believe that excessive rest equals safety, protecting them from falls or injury. But paradoxically, too much rest leads to weaker muscles, diminished coordination, and a bladder that just can't hold on the way it used to. You don't need to become an athlete. Even gentle movements, walking around the house, a short stroll down the hallway, or simple chair exercises that engage your legs and lower core can help activate those muscles. Try marching in place while seated, or consciously tightening your abdominal muscles while you breathe. Small steps, taken consistently, can lead to dramatic improvements in bladder control and overall confidence. Now, sometimes it's not what you do with your body, but what you put into your body that causes the problem. This brings us to habit number 6. Habit number 6. The food factor, eating bladder-irritating foods. Meet Sarah, 73. She's always loved food, spicy dinners, a refreshing citrus fruit for breakfast, and the occasional diet soda. But lately, her nights have been a nightmare, waking multiple times to rush to the bathroom, often not making it in time. At first, she dismissed it as just aging. But then she started noticing a distinct pattern. The nights she indulged in spicy dishes, oranges, or that calorie-free sweetened drink, those were always the worst nights. Here's what's truly going on. Certain foods, even seemingly healthy ones, can intensely irritate the delicate lining of your bladder, making it more sensitive, inflamed, and hyperreactive. Common culprits often include spicy sauces, tomato-based meals, acidic citrus fruits like oranges or grapefruits, vinegar-heavy salad dressings, and surprisingly, artificial sweeteners found in diet sodas or sugar-free snacks. The common misconception is that if a food is generally healthy, it's good for every part of your body. But your bladder has its own unique sensitivities, and what's perfectly fine for your heart or digestion might be incredibly unfriendly down below. The powerful solution? Start a bladder diary. For a week or two, simply track what you eat and drink, and when your symptoms flare up, you might uncover surprising patterns you never expected. Then, slowly experiment by reducing or swapping out those suspected trigger foods. Instead of orange juice, try soothing apple or pear juice. Trade spicy salsa for mild, bladder-friendly herbs. Managing your bladder isn't about giving up everything you love. It's about smart choices and understanding what works best for your unique body. But even if you manage your diet, move your body, and hydrate correctly, none of it will truly matter if you're still holding on to this next habit, one that quietly makes everything worse each day. Habit number 7, the holding game, holding it in too long. Let's talk about Julia. She's 75, sharp, impeccably dressed, and a regular at her book club and Sunday brunch with friends. But there's one thing she absolutely detests: excusing herself for the restroom in public. She'd tell herself it was about good manners, or that interrupting a conversation would be rude, or simply that public restrooms felt uncomfortable. So, she'd hold it, and hold it, and hold it. Until one day, on her way home from a gathering, it happened. A sudden, unexpected, uncontrolled leak. And worse, utterly humiliating. She thought, how could this happen? I was trying to prevent an accident by waiting. But here's the crucial truth many people don't know. When you hold your urine for extended periods, you're actively overstretching your bladder far beyond its natural capacity. Imagine a rubber band, constantly stretched too far, it eventually loses its elasticity and strength. Your bladder muscles weaken, the internal signals to go become confused and less clear, and over time, your bladder simply stops cooperating. There's a widespread myth that holding it in trains your bladder to become stronger. The reality is the opposite. You're overworking it, pushing it past its built-in limits. The empowering solution: listen to your body's subtle cues. Aim to use the restroom every 2 to 4 hours, even if it's just a mild urge. Make it a routine, especially before leaving the house or settling in for the night. The more consistent you are with respecting your bladder's natural rhythms, the more control you'll actually gain. We've talked about drinks, posture, muscles, movement, and foods. But all these efforts could be undermined if you're still making one of the most harmful, yet overlooked, mistakes of all. Habit number 8, the silent struggle, not talking to your doctor. Let me introduce you to Helen. Helen is 78, a proud grandmother of 6, full of life. For years, she quietly battled leaks, urgent bathroom dashes, and endless nighttime trips. But she never uttered a single word to her doctor. Why? Because she didn't want to be a bother. She felt bladder issues were too personal, too embarrassing. And besides, she believed it was just a normal part of getting older. Then, one Sunday, while singing in the church choir, she felt that familiar sensation. And this time, it wasn't just a small leak. She had a full accident, right there, in front of friends and family. She was devastated. But here's the part that truly shocked her. When she finally summoned the courage to open up to her doctor, Dr. Reynolds, she discovered there were simple, discreet, and effective treatments available. Even better, her symptoms were actually linked to a mild bladder condition that was completely manageable. You see, urinary issues in older women are not just an inevitable consequence of aging. They can be a clear sign of underlying conditions like urinary tract infections, pelvic organ prolapse, overactive bladder syndrome, hormonal changes, or even side effects from medications. And here's the crucial part. Many of these conditions have non-surgical, low-risk solutions available right now. We're talking about pelvic floor physical therapy, simple dietary adjustments, specific medications, personalized bladder training plans, and yes, even just changing your daily habits. But none of these solutions can reach you if you remain silent. Your doctor is a partner in your health journey. They are there to support you, not to judge you. They've heard every concern imaginable. And believe me, you are not alone in this struggle. So, take a deep breath, pick up the phone, and make that appointment. Because finally talking to your doctor might just be the most empowering step you take towards reclaiming your confidence and comfort. Now that we've openly discussed these 8 powerful habits, let's take a moment to truly grasp what this means for your life, your dignity, and your invaluable sense of freedom. Living with the constant fear of a bathroom accident, it can feel like your own body is betraying you, shattering your trust in yourself. You find yourself perpetually scanning for the nearest restroom, consumed by worries about what to wear, what to drink, when to leave the house, or if you even should. And slowly, subtly, you start shrinking your world. Saying no to invitations, staying home, just in case, hesitating to laugh too hard, walk too far, or sit too long. It becomes isolating, profoundly embarrassing, even shameful. But here's the profound truth you need to internalize right now. You are not alone. Thousands, even millions, of women are navigating this exact same silent struggle. And tragically, too many of them mistakenly believe it's simply the price of aging, that it's too late to change, that the damage is irreversible. But I promise you it isn't. Not even close. This journey isn't merely about avoiding leaks. It's about something far deeper, far more significant. It's about reclaiming your unshakable confidence, your vibrant joy, your profound peace of mind, and your inherent dignity. Because you absolutely deserve to feel comfortable and secure in your own body. You deserve to walk into any room without a shred of fear. You deserve to live your life fully, on your terms, without constantly planning your existence around the nearest restroom. So let me ask you truly, from the heart, did any of those 8 habits resonate with you? Did you catch yourself drinking less water? Skipping exercise? Holding it in out of politeness? Or perhaps, avoiding that crucial conversation with your doctor? If you recognized even one of those in your own life, then that, my dear, is your powerful starting point. Just one small, intentional shift this week. Maybe it's dedicating 5 minutes to pelvic floor exercises before bed. Maybe it's replacing that 3rd cup of coffee with a refreshing glass of water. Or perhaps, it's picking up the phone and finally making that appointment to talk to your doctor. Whatever it is, take that crucial first step. Because this isn't about aiming for overnight perfection. It's about consistent, compassionate progress. And every single change you make, no matter how small, propels you closer to true freedom. Freedom from fear, from embarrassment, from the quiet shame no one talks about but far too many live with. Let me remind you again, you are not broken. You are not weak. And you are, unequivocally, not alone. You are a woman brimming with strength, with wisdom, with countless stories yet to tell, and vibrant years left to passionately enjoy. There is abundant hope. There are tangible solutions. And there is still ample time to feel completely like yourself again. You do not have to live in silence. You do not have to accept this as your new normal. Take one small, empowered action today. Because you are worth it. Because your comfort profoundly matters. Because you deserve to feel absolutely free again. Now, let's take a moment to gently recap the 8 essential habits doctors warn senior women to avoid, so you can stop wetting your pants and reclaim your confidence. 1. The dehydration deception, skipping water, mistakenly thinking it prevents leaks. 2. The caffeine conundrum, drinking too much caffeine from coffee, tea, or soda, unknowingly irritating your bladder. 3. The slouching secret, poor posture, especially prolonged sitting, which adds unwanted pressure. 4. The neglected core, ignoring your pelvic floor muscles, when simple Kegels can make all the difference. 5. The stillness trap. Avoiding physical activity, when gentle movement actually strengthens critical bladder support. 6. The food factor, eating bladder-irritating foods like citrus, spicy sauces, or artificial sweeteners without realizing their impact. 7. The holding game, holding it in too long, which can overstretch and weaken your bladder. 8. The silent struggle, not talking to your doctor, perhaps the most vital step, because help is out there, and you deserve it. Now, take a deep breath with me. You don't need to conquer all 8 at once. But maybe, just maybe, there's one habit you can bravely commit to changing today. And that single, empowered step could usher you closer to freedom, to comfort, to profound peace of mind. And now, a question from my heart to yours. Which of these habits surprised you the most? Or have you personally experienced any of them in your own journey? I'd genuinely love for you to scroll down and share in the comments below. Because when we bravely open up, we not only empower ourselves but also help others feel less alone. Your story might just be the exact encouragement someone else desperately needs to hear. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, if it offered you some clarity, or even just a comforting sense of solidarity, would you do me a small favor? Please tap that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe to Elderly Counsel. We've got more real talk, real solutions, and real hope waiting for you right here, every day. Because your health matters. Your comfort matters. You matter. Thank you so much for spending these vital moments with me today. I hope you leave this video feeling seen, heard, and immeasurably more empowered. Stay strong, stay curious, and as always, keep living life with wisdom and courage. I'll see you in the next video.